Today's schlong, it's kind of a mishmash, but it's about leftists being owned in some way or changing their mind entirely in real time and watching it happen. And so the first example, Anna Casparian, who we've talked about many, many times on this show, feel like she's so close to just making the full transition into regular, normal conservatism. She has said that she left the left. So she no longer associates with the left, but she doesn't associate with the right either. But the story that she tells about why she left the left is really interesting. She told this on the Jillian Michaels podcast.
2022, it was around March. I was walking my dog. It was not quite dark yet, but the sun was setting. As I'm walking my dog, I see these two guys that were just kind of like moving around weirdly. You know, they seemed kind of manic and their clothes were tattered. So I knew that they were probably homeless. And I also knew that they're probably on something just based on like the twitchy way they were acting. But living in LA, I mean, there's homeless people everywhere, right? So I've never had problems. I didn't think anything of it. But as I was bending down to pick up my dog's mess, one of the guys like grabs me by my hips.
Oh my God.
He had an erection.
Oh God.
And just starts like humping me. And I didn't know what to do. Like I was terrified. I didn't have a weapon on me.
Yep.
Like I had no way of defending myself.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
know how far it was going to go because it's two guys. I'm by myself with my little dog.
Jeez.
It was one of the most terrifying things ever because I'm pretty good at defending myself. In that moment, I just knew there was no option.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, he stopped and they just laughed at me and walked away as they were laughing at me. And so there was the fear and then the humiliation and weirdly shame. Like I felt ashamed for some reason. And it was awful. And it was really taking a toll on my mental health because I have to walk my dog, right? So at least 2 or 3 times a day, I'm going outside kind of scared. And so I opened up about this on the show, not really thinking much of it. And before I know it, I'm starting to get these messages and it's like really, really harsh stuff. And it's about how you are painting a picture of the homeless community. You know, how could you be like this? You know, these are your unhoused neighbors and they need help.
Unreal.
A few people accused me of being racist
Oh
when
my
I had
God.
never disclosed the race of the individuals who did this to me. And in fact, they were white. And so like when they started accusing me of being racist, I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you assuming that the people who did
Well,
this?
of course.
Yeah, like I think you might have a problem here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that woke me up. That woke me up because I'm like, oh my God.
They eat their
They eat their own.
They do eat their own. Yeah. And who is the racist here?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
I think we
automatic
know.
assumption.
Right.
Yikes.
Mhm. Yeah. And who they want to protect. It's like, again, with the not protecting women in so many different areas of our lives, they don't give a crap about women. They claim to be the party of women. They're not. They're not the party of women. They don't care. They're just like all about the identity politics and helping people that don't need to be helped.
Mhm.
Criminals, namely. I mean, it's a matter of time. She's going
I
to.
hope so. I mean, I don't know what else needs to happen to her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how much more evidence do you need of how effed up your side is or your
Yeah.
former side is?
I don't know if she probably just doesn't want to say she's on the right because she made a living on the left for so long. So it's probably, I mean, you talk about like maybe she has shame or maybe she has fear. She probably is just scared to walk over to the right and say, I'm on the right now. But let's face it, policy wise, she probably, that she is on our side when it comes to
Except
stuff.
for some social stuff. Yeah, I think she probably is. And she just doesn't want to own it.
Admit
You
it.
know what I mean?
Right.
You know what she needs, actually, is some coat defense.
She does need some coat defense. She could just sprinkle it all over her body on her hives.
Now, I will admit, I don't know if this works for people, but it does work for your cats, dogs, and horses. This particular product is the preventative powder, also a treatment powder, which you do sprinkle all over their fur and you just kind of rub it in. You can sprinkle it in between their toe beans, right into their ears. And then you just, how you can like scrunch their ears a little bit, get that right in there. And this treats tons of the reasons that most people take their animals to the vet for and put them on all kinds of prescriptions that cost a bunch of money. But really, all you need is coat defense to treat most of the causes of the itchiness, of the rashing, of the scaliness, or any of the other skin conditions that your pets might have. And then on top of that, they also have this amazing shampoo, which they do have a human version of, by the way, which is really nice. It's got this citrus smell,
Yeah,
and
it
it
is nice.
leaves all the actual like natural oils that you want on your hair. Same for dogs and cats. It doesn't strip them of the oils that they need, but you still get clean, right? You get clean, your animals get clean. Their products are freaking amazing. I love, love, love them. You can get 15% off of your entire order at coatdefense.com when you use code CHICKS. Charlie Kirk, as you know, travels around with Turning Point to all these campuses, and he sets up sort of this open mic where any student can come up and spar with him, ask him questions, debate him, whatever. Unfortunately and inexplicably, a lot of students opt to do this utterly unprepared. And this one was a fantastic example. This was about abortion. He absolutely silences her to the point where she just breaks. Like her brain breaks in real time, and he may have actually changed her thinking. Take a listen.
Belief that abortion is never medically necessary.
Are you a doctor?
No. Are you?
No.
But there is a community of OBGYNs that agree with me.
So is it our decision to make? Is it something that we can decide?
That's an interesting question.
So
First of all,
should it be something that people have the ability to vote on, yes or no, if a woman is able to make that choice?
Should a mom be able to kill her 2-year-old daughter?
No.
Are you a doctor?
No.
Okay, but why are we able to say it's wrong? So we're able to make moral statements when the baby's outside the womb. Why not when it's in the womb?
Huh.
Thank you for coming up. Think about that.
Sure.
Bye now. Bye-bye.
I love it when you know he's got her and she's just like,
I gotta go now.
Don't know what to say now.
I have to go. Yeah.
Yowza.
That was good.
I had never heard of this fellow until I caught a video of him on Twitter the other day. His name is Caleb Hammer. He's hugely popular. And from what I can tell, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time watching his stuff, but from what I can tell, he's a much more crude, younger, non-religious version of Dave Ramsey. So he basically advises people on their debt, their finances, and he has people on his show that are just the dumbest with money ever. And one of these girls was on his show. I don't know what her financial situation was, except that it's very clear right away that she's kind of like a trust fund kid, and she just has had everything basically handed to her. But she hates, she says, capitalism, and he cannot deal. And he seems hilarious.
Yeah, reality sucks. Capitalism is bad. I don't like it.
Yeah, really easy for someone to say that grew up in a really nice house in one of the best school districts in Texas.
I know, but it's
who has the rent paid for, that is able to go to Europe and on a whim with their sister, who's able to do girl math, who's able to be fun employed. Yeah, it's easy to say that the system's bad when you're doing that because you've never had to work for it. You never got to actually see what happens when you put in the work and get benefits and actually have a little bit of responsibility and actually build something or do anything. You've grew up in privilege beyond privilege beyond privilege beyond privilege. It's only the people who speak like you that grew up in a world where you've never had to do a single thing in your life. So I don't want to hear about that. What a joke.
I'm sorry. I just wish everybody had but yeah, like you were saying, that
I wish a lot of things. Wishing doesn't get people places. You try to create the best systems possible. This doesn't matter. Oh my.
If it's the best system possible, then why are there people
I'm not saying this is shut the f up. I'm not saying this is the best system possible. I'm saying we don't do the I wish this is how it all is. Yeah. You try to create the best systems possible to give people the opportunities to live the best lives. I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm not saying this is the best system possible. I don't know. Everything's a hypothesis.
Yeah.
But for you to say that is disgusting.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm a real hypocrite for that. But the people who you should be going after are the people in the top something percent that like hoard all the world's wealth. Like go after those people. Those people need to be taxed, and that money
Taxed to the max.
Yeah.
What does that even look like to you? You probably don't even know what that looks like. What does that look like? How do you tax them to the max?
I'm not sure. I have somebody else.
Oh, interesting.
I have somebody else do my taxes.
This person's voting.
Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
And I already know who I'm voting for.
And you literally can't describe a tax.
I mean, I'm gonna binge so much of his stuff later.
Oh, I will too. I totally
Hammer.
will too. If I get to see more of that. Yeah. And she's like, I already know who I'm voting for. And I'm going to drive a car that my dad bought me. Down with capitalism.
My dad should be taxed to the max.
Well, maybe not my dad, but everybody else. Because everything that my dad has trickles down to me.
The left it's a mental disorder, you guys. It is a mental
It
disorder.
is. My $4,000 apartment is paid for. And so is my BMW. Don't take that away. I hate her.
I know. Just awful. And every single one of his YouTube videos, as I was just kind of scrolling through the thumbnails and just seeing the headlines, all of them are like, I talked to the stupidest woman alive. You know what I mean? It's like all these.
Say his name again. People
Caleb
are
Hammer.
Caleb Hammer. Hammer, like hammer.
Hammer.
Hammer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he just looks fantastic. Hugely popular. Like we've missed him.
Yeah.
So
he's young, very, very young.
Yeah, young and just seems hilarious.